The curse of the forest town. Once there was a small town nestled in the heart of the forest, surrounded by tall trees and deep ravines. The town was known for its dark past, with stories of witches, ghosts and monsters lurking in the shadows. It was a cold, dark night when a group of friends decided to venture into the forest, despite the warnings of the locals. They were determined to find the truth behind the legends and prove to themselves that they were not afraid. As they walked deeper into the woods, the trees seemed to close in around them, blocking out the light of the moon. They could hear strange noises coming from the darkness, and they started to feel uneasy. One of the friends, named Sarah, suggested they turn back, but the others were determined to press on. They argued that they had come this far, and they couldn't just give up now. But as they continued to walk, they began to realize that they were lost. The trees looked unfamiliar, and they couldn't find their way back. They decided to make camp for the night and try to find their way out in the morning. As they sat around the campfire, they heard a sound that chilled them to the bone. It was a low, guttural growling, and it seemed to be coming from all around them. They tried to ignore it, but it grew louder and more persistent. Suddenly, they heard a rustling in the bushes, and a pair of glowing eyes appeared in the darkness. They froze, unsure of what to do, as a huge, terrifying creature emerged from the shadows. It was a werewolf, its fur matted and bloodied, its eyes glowing with a fierce hunger. It snarled at them, baring its razor-sharp teeth, and the friends realized that they were in grave danger. They tried to run, but the werewolf was too fast. It chased them through the woods, its howls echoing through the darkness. They stumbled and fell, but they kept going, knowing that if they stopped, they would be killed. They finally reached the edge of the forest, but the werewolf was still on their heels. They could see the lights of the town in the distance, and they knew they were close to safety. But as they reached the town limits, the werewolf let out a deafening roar, and they knew it was not done with them yet. They ran through the streets, knocking on doors and calling for help, but no one would answer. They were trapped, with the werewolf closing in. They knew that there was no escape, and that they would have to face their fears head-on. They turned to face the werewolf, ready for the final confrontation. They fought with all their strength, but it was no match for the creature. It was about to kill them when a bright light shone from the sky, and the werewolf let out a final howl before it vanished into thin air. The friends looked up and saw a figure standing before them, dressed in a cloak and holding a staff. It was a witch, who had come to save them from the werewolf. She told them that the werewolf was a cursed being, and that it was her duty to protect the town from its wrath. She explained that the legends of the town were true, and that there were many dark and dangerous creatures lurking in the shadows. The friends were shocked and terrified, but they were also grateful to the witch for saving their lives. They thanked her and asked her to take them back to the town. As they walked through the streets, they could see that the town was different than they remembered. The houses were dilapidated and overgrown, and the streets were empty. The witch explained that the town had been cursed for centuries, and that the creatures of the forest had claimed it as their own. The friends were horrified, and they realized that they had been lucky to escape with their lives. They thanked the witch again, and asked her how they could help. The witch told them that there was only one way to lift the curse: they had to find the source of the curse and destroy it. She gave them a map and a magical amulet, and told them to be careful, as the journey would be dangerous. The friends set out on their quest, following the map through the forest. They encountered many terrifying creatures along the way, but they were able to use the amulet to protect themselves. They finally arrived at a clearing, where they saw a dark tower standing in the center. They knew that this was the source of the curse, and they prepared to face their final challenge. They climbed the tower and reached the top, where they found a room filled with ancient artifacts and dark magic. In the center of the room, they saw a dark sorcerer, who was chanting a spell that would keep the curse alive. The friends knew that they had to stop him, and they fought with all their strength. The sorcerer was powerful, but the friends were determined. They were able to weaken him, and they finally destroyed the source of the curse. With the curse lifted, the town was restored to its former glory. The houses were rebuilt, and the streets were filled with people. The forest was no longer a place of terror, and the creatures of the night were gone. The friends returned to the town, where they were hailed as heroes. They had saved the town from the curse, and they had proven to themselves that they were not afraid. The witch came to thank them, and she gave them a gift, the power to see the unseen, and to protect the town from any future curses. The friends were grateful, and they promised to use their powers for good. They knew that there would always be dangers in the world, but they were ready to face them, together. The end.